Assalamu alaikum children. Today's story is A Hole in Her Pocket. This story is written by Enid Blyton. Jenny had a hole in her pocket. "Bother," she said. "I believe my rubber has slipped through it." "Well, mend it, dear," said her mother. "You know how to mend a hole, surely." But Jenny couldn't be bothered. She wanted to go out and play. So out she went, and when she went to bed that night, the hole was still in her pocket. Now the next day her Uncle George came to see her mother, and he gave Jenny a bright new 20 pence. It shone so brightly that Jenny was sure it could only have been made the day before. "I shall buy that tiny doll I saw in the toy shop window," she said. "I want her for my doll's house. She's just the right size." But when she got to the toy shop, the money wasn't in her pocket. She felt for it. But all she found was a hole, just a little bit bigger now. She ran home crying, "Oh, Mummy, I've lost my bright new 20 pence. It was so beautiful. It's fallen through that hole in my pocket." "But I told you to mend it," said Mummy. "It's your own fault, Jenny." "I do have bad luck," wept Jenny. "I really do." "You bring your bad luck on yourself," said Mummy. "If you had mended the hole, you wouldn't have had this bad luck. What about trying to bring a little good luck and mending the hole now? You know what I always tell you. Things go wrong if you yourself are silly, and they go right when you yourself try to do right." "I can't mend it," wept Jenny. "I've left my work basket at school." "Then go and fetch it," said Mummy. "I've told you not to leave it there." Jenny dried her eyes. Perhaps she had better go and fetch it, though school was quite a long way off. She really must mend that hole. She set off, and Mummy was pleased. "That's a good girl. I like it when you are sensible and try to put things right, Jenny." Jenny got her little work basket and set off home. She hadn't gone very far before she heard somebody crying. She ran to see who it was. It was little Molly. She had tried to get some berries from the hedge and had torn her frock badly. "My mother will scold me," she wept. "Look, shall I mend the tear for you?" said Jenny. "It just happens that I've got my little work basket with me. Let me mend the tear. I can mend very neatly." Molly dried her eyes and watched Jenny sewing the hole up very neatly. "Oh, how kind you are," she said. "Now my mother won't mind nearly so much. The hole hardly shows at all." "There you are," said Jenny, breaking off her thread. "That's finished." Molly pressed a lovely red ball into Jenny's hands. "Thank you," she said. "Take my ball, please, Jenny. It's just to show you how pleased I am." "But I've got plenty of balls," said Jenny. "No, you keep yours, Molly." Molly looked as if she was going to cry again. No, I want you to have it," she said. "You're so kind." So Jenny took it and skipped off home again. But just round the corner she came across Johnny White looking up at a tree and jumping up as high as he could. "Somebody's thrown my new cap up there," he said. "Can you reach it, Jenny? I'll get in an awful row at school if I go without it." Jenny couldn't jump high enough to reach it either, but she had a very good idea. She took the ball that Molly had given to her and threw it at the cap. She missed it, and the ball bounced down. She threw it again, and it hit the cap, and down came both cap and ball. "Goodness, you are clever," said Johnny. "Thank you most awfully, Jenny. Come and see my white mice, will you?" She went in to see his white mice. He had some beauties. Jenny loved them. He suddenly picked one up and put it into her hand. "You can have it," he said. "That's for getting my cap back for me." "Oh, no, I don't want anything for that," said Jenny. "Really, I don't." "Yes, take it," said Johnny. "Well, you have this ball in exchange then," said Jenny. So Johnny took the ball and Jenny took the mouse. She popped the little thing into her work basket and set off home again. But she hadn't gone very far before she remembered how afraid her mother was of mice. Gracious! It would never do to take it home. Her mother would be frightened and angry. Oh dear! Jenny opened the work basket and took a peep at the mouse. It put its little waffly nose up at her. It was sweet. A boy came to look, and he stroked the tiny thing. "It's a beauty," he said. "I wish it was mine. I'll give you 20 pence for it. Will you sell it? It's the very nicest mouse I ever saw." "Yes, you can have it. For 20 pence?" said Jenny, delighted. "I love it too, but I'm sure my mother won't let me keep it." The boy put his hand into his pocket and pulled out 20 pence. "I found it today," he said. "Wasn't I lucky? It's very bright and shining and new." "Why, it's the one I lost out of the hole in my pocket!" cried Jenny joyfully. "It must be, it's so bright and new. Here, take the mouse. I'll run home and tell Mummy all about it." She took the 20 pence and ran home. "Mummy," she called, "I've got my 20 pence back." She told her mother all about it, and how Mummy laughed. Well, well, what a lot of happenings, all leading up to your 20 pence again. Now I suppose you'll be off to the toy shop to buy that little doll after all. "Oh yes," said Jenny, and she slipped the coin into her pocket, and it fell through the hole and rolled onto the floor. "Oh," she said, and went very red. "I must mend that hole first, mustn't I?" And down she sat and mended it. "If a thing's got to be done, it had better be done at once," said Jenny. "I shall lose my money again if I'm not careful." Wasn't she lucky to get it back?